10 awesome free-to-play single-player horror games on Steam. If you're looking for some games that's going to scare the living daylights out of you for free, then you're in the right place. Every single one of these games is free. In this video, you'll see some jump scares, some gore, and all things spooky. I'll give a bit of information on each game, and I'll put links in the video description to each of them. If you want to be an absolute legend and support the channel, then make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Now let's get into the video. Dark Deception is a story-driven, first-person horror maze game. There's nowhere to hide and nowhere to catch your breath. You're trapped in a realm of nightmarish mazes with a mysterious woman. Your only hope of survival is to find a way to escape the darkness. This game mixes the genres of classic arcade with a fun horror style. You'll need to use the minimap to run around and collect all the dark crystals, whilst avoiding the monsters in the maze. This game is quite challenging and it's very fast paced. You'll always have to keep running and try not to slow down or stop because the monsters are never far behind you. Five Nights at Freddy's Ultimate Custom Night. This game features 50 selectable animatronic characters that spans the Five Nights at Freddy's series. There's a huge amount of options for customization. You can do things like mix and match any character, set their difficulty between 0 to 20. It's got set challenges and you can choose from 16 of these. Aim to get the highest score possible and you'll be able to achieve a higher score the more animatronics that you put in the game. It's got unlockable cutscenes and unlockable office skins. Each animatronic has a different way that you have to deal with it, such as putting on a mask to make the animatronic go away, or looking at a certain camera to keep the animatronic at bay, so you'll need to learn how to counter each one. It's essentially the same jump scare gameplay that we're used to seeing in the Five Nights at Freddy's series, but it's free and it has a massive amount of customization. Don't Be Afraid, the First Toy. You play as a young boy called Jamie that's kidnapped by a psychopath. Explore the giant house of your torturer, and you'll soon discover things that look like something from your worst nightmare. You'll have to solve puzzles and find items to help you escape, and make sure to keep your candle lit so you can explore in the darkness. The game itself should take about 30 minutes to complete, and it's classed as an introduction game to the full game, which is Don't Be Afraid. This game is very dark, moody, and gory. We Went Back is a dark and moody horror game set in an abandoned space station. The exit door is locked and you'll have to find a way to escape. Pick up objects and search your environment to find clues to escape. Be very careful, however, because there's something that lurks in the shadows. The environment will change as you progress. A horror puzzle game that'll take you around about 30 to 50 minutes to complete. Zardy's Maze is an extremely challenging horror game where you have to enter a corn maze in the dead of night. Your objective is to cut down the giant plants that have started to grow there. The only equipment that you have is a flashlight and an axe. Brave the unknown and avoid what lurks in the darkness. It's got 8 different types of enemies that you'll need to outwit and outmaneuver. Each enemy has a unique playstyle, and you'll need to learn how to counter each one. For example, your flashlight might come in handy against some enemies, and your axe might come in handy against others. It's also got a set challenge mode where you can choose one of the challenges to take on. It's quite difficult and quite challenging, so just keep that one in mind. Make sure you don't stand in the tall corn for too long. Do you like dogs? Do you like horror games? Introducing Rough Night at the Gallery. Rough Night at the Gallery is a jump scare horror game featuring art, dogs, and spooky ghosts. Explore the gallery and find keys to move forward. Admire the artwork, just don't get licked. You'll have to make your way around an art gallery at night, but make sure to keep an eye on these paintings because they look quite lifelike. You'd have to be barking mad to not give this game a try. Transmissions Element 120. This game features a unique gravity-defying weapon that allows you to jump buildings and sustain large falls. A lot of this game is based on this gravity-defying gun, which if you point it down at the ground and then jump and shoot, it'll launch your character up into the sky. You'll need to use this to make your way up ledges and across gaps, and there's a lot of things that you can do with the environment, such as shoot hanging crates and make those fall on your enemies, or shoot concrete pipes and make them roll and crush your enemies. so look out for things in the environment that you think you can manipulate. Overall, it's got quite a spooky and dark atmosphere about it. It's set in the Half-Life universe, and it'll take around about half an hour to an hour to complete. It's got a few small puzzles that you'll need to figure out, and again, the gravity gun will come into play with a lot of these. Friday the 13th Killer Puzzle. In this game, you'll have to help legendary horror icon Jason stalk and slay campers across over 100 puzzles. Your goal is to terrorize victims across a variety of different locations, such as Crystal Lake, prisons, or space stations. Essentially, the puzzle works by you moving up, down, left, or right, and the game will only let Jason move in a straight line, so you'll have to plan your movements carefully. Some puzzles will restrict the amount of moves that you can use, and you'll have to avoid walking Jason into the water or into fire. It's got a variety of weapons that you can unlock, such as axes, baseball bats, knives, and crowbars. And each weapon also has its unique kill animation, and some of these kill animations are hilarious because you can kill people with a fish or a baguette. You can also get hints and tips from Jason's mum if you get stuck. This game is a lot of fun, and it gives you a large variety of puzzles to solve. Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator. Start your own pizza business Five Nights at Freddy's style. This game mixes the style of the traditional Five Nights at Freddy's gameplay with a pizza place simulator. You'll buy things from the shop, such as animatronics, arcade machines, paper cups, party hats, and electronic rides for the kids to play on. You can then choose where to place those items in your shop. You can even click on the rides and play a little mini game for each one. After you've completed the day shift, you'll then move on to the night shift, and this part of the game is quite similar to the Five Nights at Freddy's gameplay that we know. You have to work on a computer in a dark room and carry out some tasks, all the while watching out for some animatronics trying to make their way over to you and scare you. There's also a phase where you have to analyze a broken animatronic, and it's possible to salvage this for some extra cash, but if you do fail, it means another animatronic will be let loose in your restaurant, which makes your job a lot harder. Different items from the shop affect your pizza place in different ways, such as adding or taking away from atmosphere, health and safety, entertainment, bonus revenue, and liability risk. Cry of Fear is a psychological horror game set in a deserted town filled with horrific creatures and nightmarish delusions. You play as a young man searching for answers on a cold, dark night. I actually can't believe that this game is free. The game looks absolutely amazing, and there's loads of hours of gameplay to get stuck into. It should take you somewhere between 4 and 8 hours to complete this. It's got multiple different endings, 24 unique weapons, unlockable extra content after beating the campaign, enemies will burst through walls and doors at you, and overall it's got a classic survival horror feel about it. You'll have to use the flashlight on your phone to light up certain areas, and use certain items in certain places to be able to proceed forward. Very atmospheric, very classic survival horror. It gives me old school Silent Hill vibes. There's an absolutely humongous amount of content packed into this game. If you enjoyed this video, I actually have an entire series on 10 awesome games, each video with its own unique theme and topic. For example, 10 awesome free-to-play multiplayer horror games on Steam, 10 awesome hidden gem indie games, and even 10 awesome social deduction games that are games similar to Among Us. You can find my 10 awesome games playlist on this YouTube channel, and I'll link it in the video description.